Mean Gino.
I'm a crazy mother effer, and I'm coming through the door, quick to knock you up and knock your ass to the floor. Think I'm playing what you, but this fist gon' hit you. Always in the hood, #1 wig swigger. Take it, Mickey. Never try to step, cause you know you can't compete. Live by your rap, get thrown in the street. This boy about to act up, you better call for backup. I'll be the next fool in the hood, buddies, back up. Somebody gon' get their butt kicked. Somebody gon' get their legs swear. Beat him up, break his neck, break his neck. Yeah, totally not 3-6 Mafia.
Welcome back, NoDQ Galaxy. First of all, can you hear me? Because my sound is cut out.
Yes.
Welcome back to episode number 364. We're on our way to 400 soon. I am the moderator, Virtue, being joined by this week's elite panel of the NoDQ review. Aaron Rift, as always. Walter Cruz is back. Gino, co-moderator, is here. And Son is here. And we were supposed to have Dave Scheffler, but he was having technical difficulties. That's right, not me, him. And so I know some people like Big G and Jeff Meacham who wanted to be on. Probably a little bit like scratching my head right now, right? And I wouldn't put it past Jeff to reach out to Aaron to try to jump on. But anyway, what's up, everybody? What's going on there, Mickey, Goofy, Son? What's up? You always bring the numbers. We desperately need numbers during this lull in wrestling. The review is just, AEW is pulling everything down, including our shows, and we're trying to get them back up. You always help the show with ratings. What's up?
Everybody, Son Gosoku here. Yeah, it sounded like Goofy or Mickey there. Thought they had some bars. Shout out to Mark Henry. But I'm always glad to be back in here to NoDQ. I think this is the first time that I've been on, or at least in some years, I've made every post Big 4 PLE show here for NoDQ. So always happy to be here with you guys and ready to go ahead and talk wrestling.
All right, and hopefully we're done in under an hour, right? It's going to be contingent on one obsessed super chatter, though. Is he here? Is he not here? Does he have any money this week? Gino, what's going on?
Not too much. Looking forward to sitting back and answering the questions this week. It's been a while since I've been on, not as the moderator. Happy to be here. Honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Stay tuned. You know how this works. And now I'll go over to Walter. It's been a minute. The reliable Walter Cruz. What's up?
Nothing much. I'm doing well. You don't have Jeff and me on the same episode, so we should make the hour mark or under an hour. So we should be good.
Should, but somebody can change that. So what's up? You ready to go? You're always ready to go, right? Like
I'm ready, yeah.
Get the ball rolling. All right, Aaron, what's going on?
Well, Jeff Meacham has arrived via chat room, sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Jeff. Jeff says, hope everyone had a wonderful holiday weekend and enjoyed Survivor Series. It was a great experience in person with my son. Jeff was at Survivor Series. Seemed like he had a good time, but the internet has been very mixed on Survivor Series. I've seen some people praising it. I've seen people calling it the worst pay-per-view of the year. I've heard people calling it one of the worst Survivor Series pay-per-views of all time. So I'm very curious to hear what everybody had to say or has to say about Survivor Series. It looks like Dave is here. Dave, can you hear me? What's going on?
Yes. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
What's up?
Okay, cool. I'm using my phone.
Perfect.
Works.
All right. I think
Aaron, are we ready to start?
We're ready to get this ball rolling, as Big C would say.
Obviously, I do want to talk about, let's just do the Survivor Series fallout first, right? Even though that's our main part of the show. Let's talk about Survivor Series. So there's a few things here when I think of this show, right? Just had the 4 matches. But Dominik regained the Intercontinental Championship. Liv Morgan returned. Looked like she was going to be against him, hopped into Cena's arms, but classic heel, Dominik wins the title back. The rise of Dominik Mysterio, right? He obviously won the IC title at WrestleMania. Looked like he was starting to get cheered. They like him as a heel still right now, but a younger person getting pushed, beating Cena on his way out, right? This is the worst pay-per-view of the year, but yet Dominik is getting elevated, right? Everybody's talking about elevating young stars, but well, we want matches that are long and great and memorable, so therefore we don't get that, and therefore it's not a good show. Even though Dominik, we saw him rising. Bron Breakker almost broke his neck, right? And we had a masked man that shows up, and we'll talk about that. But the rise of Bron Breakker, another young star, winning a pay-per-view for his team. But wait, this is awful. So do people not want young stars getting pushed? Oh, if it's match quality. Bullshit with the match quality stuff, because people want that, because people like Dave Meltzer have conditioned you to think that's what wrestling's all about. To me, my takeaways were who got the dubs, right? Who the young rising stars. And if I remember back in the day, we had a Deadly Game Survivor Series where The Rock turned corporate heel, and we were all swerved, and that was a great memory, and we always will remember that. But anyway, let's talk about Survivor Series. Son, I'm going to start with you. Those were the highlights, right? Those people that won. The masked person, right? We can all speculate based on Dirt Sheet News. It's Austin Theory. You know, how underwhelming is that going to be? But let's talk about the fallout of Survivor Series.
All right, so the
War
fallout.
Let me get it right. War Games.
War games, yeah. All right, so as far as the fallout goes, the way because I just got through doing my review on my wrestling channel, and even when I was going through there, I realized that, you know, what's really cool about John Cena and Dominik is John Cena sort of did what he could to really help put over and reestablish the Judgment Day as a dominant force. You just talked about things that we'll always remember, Virtue, and I think that's was really cool of John Cena to give those ladies really cool career defining moments. Like Raquel was always going to be able to look back on her career and say she got to do the Tahana bomb to John Cena, or the destroyer that Roxanne Perez did. That was really cool. He gave those ladies some cool career defining moments that they always be able to put back on. Dominik getting his big win on his last PLEs. So, and it looks like they're really looking to reestablish the Judgment Day, get those women tag titles probably back on Raquel and Roxanne. It looks like Liv Morgan's being teased to go into the women's championship with Stephanie Vaquer. So I thought that was really cool. And then as far as everything out, I thought Bron Breakker cut a heck of a promo on Monday Night Raw. The fire that man showed, fantastic stuff that really just justifies that you can tell this guy is most likely going to be the guy. This guy is certainly, if not one of the biggest future players there in WWE, and they're kicking off the next year hot with him versus CM Punk. I don't think he's going to defeat CM Punk on that first anniversary show of Monday Night Raw, because I think they're going to want to save it for a bigger show like WrestleMania. But what is really cool is that it looks like WWE's pushing towards the future, and that's, you got to. As much as I love CM Punk, I'm glad that they're using this as a way to push Bron Breakker to the future. I thought Lash Legend looked incredible. So just really good stuff that I think I'm seeing right now in terms of the fallout, that we're really pushing towards the future, and I think that's the best thing I can say definitely about the fallout.
I remember one year NXT, didn't they win Survivor Series?
They did, 2019.
Like, you know what I mean?
I was there for that Survivor Series, yeah.
Any thoughts on the masked person and why they did? Like, you know, if it's going to be somebody just like Austin Theory, like, they have to know that so many people, the fans, the internet fans, like, crap on him because of how he's been booked after he beat John Cena at WrestleMania, you know, and throwing him in with a Heyman group. But it could be somebody else. But like, any thoughts on that? Of course, he did the, you know, the curb stomp. Right, to set you.
They kind of got me when I was watching. I was like, "Oh, like, did he get us again?" And I looked at the way he was built. I'm like, "No, Seth Rollins not built like that." I'm like, "It's gonna probably be a while before Seth gets back." But as far as if it is Austin Theory, I just hope it works out this time, because I do think Austin Theory is talented. I just hope that they able to go all the way here and really push and make it mean something for him. Because ever since Vince left, Austin Theory's kind of been down ever since Roman came out and said, "Daddy's not here anymore." And I'm like, I don't think Austin's been here. Austin Theory hasn't been the same since. But yeah, if he is revealed and it's him and it's the whole thing, might as well go ahead and do what he did back in NXT. It was me, Austin, all along. So I just hope that this works out and this is what takes Theory to the next level. So I'm for it if that's what they go with.
Alrighty. And of course, you got your review on your channel that people can go get more deep dive on this. All right, Gino. Co-moderator, going right over to you.
Yeah, now as far as all the chatter online about Survivor Series, War Games, I mean, it shouldn't even be called Survivor Series because the Survivor Series match was taped a week prior to that and aired on the SmackDown. It's like, what a slap in the face to a Big Four titled pay-per-view with the namesake match. All in all, I did have fun watching it. As far as the fallout, now we've got Dominik Mysterio is involved in 3 of Cena's final 4 matches, and I think that that's huge. I think he looked great in defeat. I think he looked great getting his title back. The Liv Morgan coming back was great. And then we had Monday Night Raw last night, and there was, you talked earlier about pushing these young stars, and we say that we want that, but
Last
then
week,
some.
remember? Last week I said something about that, and Dominic and Braun both looked pretty good at Survivor Series.
Yes, they did. Now, I do want to address the Braun stuff because he mentioned on Raw during what was all in all pretty good promo, maybe one of his best, if not his best. But he had said, "Oh, the Masked Man tried to steal my thunder," or however he put it, and then he's like, "And it was easy to beat CM Punk." It's like, didn't he? It was easy to beat him because the Masked Man was there, so it felt like that kind of contradicted itself a little bit. Um, with Braun, with me, like I want to be shown it, not told it. And it's every week. It's the future of WrestleMania. He's a badass. It says badass on his gear, so he must be a badass. Like, why can't we just let big jacked guys in cool attire do beastly badass things? It just feels like it's gone from a semi-push to like being almost shoved down our throats. And I know he's a heel. We're supposed to dislike him. A lot of people like him and stuff, and nothing against the guy, but I just feel like at this point he's looking less. To me, he's looking less badass every time I see him, and I don't know if I remember like this time last year he was getting involved in the Intercontinental title, having that stuff with Jey Uso, and then we were like, well, he's dropping the strap so he could go to the world title, and then fast forward a year, kind of just been spinning the wheels. Yeah, I know they had the vision and stuff, but all in all, I do want to see these younger stars being pushed. You mentioned Austin Theory and the Masked Man. Somebody said in the chat, I don't think WWE's ready to give us any idea who the Masked Man is. I think they might just wait it out and just say it was Seth all along. And when he's finally healthy, he'll come back. Yeah, it was him all along. I would love to see Austin Theory be a face, but if he's going to continue to be a heel, I think putting him in the Vision would be the best thing for a heel Austin Theory.
And look, you have Bron Breakker on the same side as Brock Lesnar. That like those guys facing off is where you're going to get that max intensity that you're looking for, and you can't when you're on the same side. So
Yes.
that could be something that you're looking for. But how do they get there? All right, Gino. I'm going over to Dave Scheffler on his phone. Dave on his phone.
Guys. Well, I'm going to echo the same sentiments. I'm loving that we're going to push some young guys. Braun finally is getting to speak, and it was a fiery promo. I told Aaron last night, I said, that was the kind of promo I want to hear. Regarding the mask guy, we've been talking about Theory would be underwhelming, and if it's Theory, they should have just said something right away. If it's a surprise, then yeah, then hold it out, because I kind of think they're not going to give it to us until January 5th. And I kind of disagree with Sun a little, but I think that mask guy is going to get involved on that Monday Night Raw, and it's going to start the new year with a new champ. And that'll leave where a possibility with CM Punk winning the Chamber in Chicago. And as far as also, I thought Lash Legend looked really good for her first match, because that was the first match she got to have on the main roster, and they kind of made it simple for her. They set her up in good spots and made her look good. And with Stephanie coming up now, you're pushing a lot of young people, which they need to do, because the more we go, Roman's going to be around a lot less again. Cody maybe too, depending on what movie parts and what shows he gets. And you got to start moving in the young direction and start building these people up. Dominik is doing great. And I think Dominik's, even though he was doing well before the Cena matches, I think he's going to get more of a rise out of the Cena matches than Solo did when Solo beat him and when Theory beat him. I think he's going to get the most out of it because the way they build it up. And like it's been said already, to give Raquel and give Roxanne those moments, that means how much they trust them too. And I think Raquel's done wonderful this year too. I think as soon as she got rid of the injury issues, she's rising because she was huge in NXT. She was awesome there, and that's one of the things about NXT I really like because they had a great roster then. As far as Austin Theory being a part, I agree totally with Aaron and with Gino. He should be a face because the story dictates him coming after Waller put him on the shelf when he put him on the shelf, really. That really should be the story, and I think that's how Theory could get over. I don't know if he should be in a group. I really think he needs to get a face run because he really, truly hasn't had one, except for I think when he was in NXT with Gargano and them, I think they were a face group for a while. But other than that, he's always been a heel. I think he needs that turn as a face to see because he's still really young to give up on him, and he's a good wrestler. He just needs to be built up in a different way and positioned in a different way as far as I'm concerned.
It could still be someone else, even if it was him under the hood doing that spot. It doesn't have to be him. If they want to pull an LA Knight, if they really want to get they can still do something, right, creatively. So it doesn't have to be Theory. But yeah, those are good points. Anything else you'd like to add?
The only thing is, I just think that, I don't know, sometimes I think these guys think we're stupid to try to push that this could be Rollins. I mean, come on. He was really hurt. He had a real injury, and there's no way with the injuries he's had recently that he could go up and down that cage. And Aaron said that last night, too. There's no way. That had to be a young, faster guy who could move. But there's no way.
But like I said, they don't have to ever reveal who played it. What if down the road they just want to say it's Rollins, and then when he's healthy, he's back. Why not? Right? You could do that. Not saying it would. You can throw a lot of names in the hat, but
I hope they don't do that.
What was that thing that they did in San Diego to fool the people with the Trons, like playing Stone Cold music? Dude, I want to see more activity. That the dirt, and of course, then after the fact, the dirt sheets like, yeah, we knew that they were playing them to decoy people. I want them to go above and beyond that to where the dirt sheets don't even know, like, but they, you know what I mean? But they were decoying people, like because they have to think that they're in the know. But I'd like to see more effort to fool everybody, because I mean, I'm not saying going and fooling ESPN or Sports Illustrated reporters. You know which ones I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But all right, thanks, Dave. All right, Walter.
Thank you, Virtue.
So I'm thinking of the Survivor Series 4 matches, and the Cena and Dominik match was fun. Spot Fest, obviously, or Finisher Fest with Brock Lesnar in there as always in the men's War Game match. But at what point did wrestling fans? As I remember in the Attitude Era, when NoDQ was new, when Aaron was starting that up, we were worried about outcomes, the storylines. We didn't talk matches much. Now, if there was a good match, we'd say great match, but we didn't really worry about every aspect of every match being quality. Now we look at a pay-per-view, and if there's any match that just doesn't flow well, wrestling fans are all match experts now, as if we all have trained, and I get fed up with hearing that as the negative. I can understand if people aren't happy with the storyline, winners, that kind of stuff, that's one thing. But when you're complaining about match quality, like, I just never remember. We put good matches over, but if it was a bad match, we were kind of like, well, who won? Did it affect the storyline? And then we'd move on. We'd find that thing that was hot about the show or more interesting. We wouldn't like dwell on what was like maybe we didn't like. But no, every aspect of the show must be a banger now, or we're not satisfied. Walter, I'm not saying Survivor Series was great, but like I wasn't like super underwhelmed with it. I took the little things that I liked about it, and I was like, all right, I was satisfied.
Yeah, I think
Like
that's the negative.
it's not Survivor Series anymore. Just call it Fall Brawl War Games.
Might as
Maybe
well.
less people would bitch.
Yeah, that's the negativity of the business being overexposed. Too many to when they started removing the curtain and let backstage things get known, it's like too many people became quote unquote smart to the or hip to the business. And now it's like, well, it wouldn't have worked out this way because this should have happened and that. And it's like everybody all of a sudden is an expert. Like until you take your ass out there and get trained and know what you're doing, you really shouldn't have opinions like that. Just enjoy for what's in front of you in terms of that. In terms of Austin Theory being the guy, I mean, try something new. I mean, for Pete's sakes, Glenn, Glenn was a Christmas tree at one point, and then he was a dentist. Then Kane hit, and then it stuck for like 20 plus years as Kane. So I understand
Good
Theory
point.
didn't work out when he first came out, and he didn't, and Vince was his guy. But remember, Drew McIntyre at one point was a chosen one too, and was Vince McMahon's guy. Look what Drew's doing now. He got fired. He went away. Got worked his body more. Got more defined. Came back, and he carried the pandemic era as a champ. Why they not letting him become champion now? I don't know. We'll see if he becomes champion again. But people can things sometimes work out, and sticks come and go, and you can revitalize people. I mean, we've seen the opposite too, where they try too much and of like keep constantly redoing it. I can't think of her name right now, but I mean, how many times did they restart her and it just none of it worked? Damn, why can't I even think of her name? But anyway, so
Emma?
if it's there and it works, if it works, and she was released a few years ago, I can't think of her name, but they just kept trying to repackage her.
Lacey Evans?
Yeah, Lacey Evans. There we go. Yeah. And it was just like, okay, at this point, give up. So it can work. So we'll see. The thing none of us talked about that I liked, and I know it was forced to because of the stadium setup. I like that there's no cages. Can we do that every year now? Can we have the entrances come out? There was no cages.
I still think it's drawn out with how long? What is it? 3 minutes between each person, or is it even longer for the first person?
First one is 5 minutes.
They
the rest is 3.
They should have the first 2 people out there in like every 2 minutes, and then in 15, 16 minutes, get them all in there and let's start the match, and let's make the match feel like that. That's one problem.
You should do it like the Rumble. The Rumble's 2 minutes, right? Do it like that. But either way, I like that everybody got the entrance and do it that way. No more cages. Besides, I couldn't picture Brock stuck in a cage with everybody. It wouldn't have made sense.
Right.
So, like, yeah,
that's exactly why they did that. Brock Lesnar is why they didn't do cages. Yep.
Yeah,
but no more eating in the middle of the match too.
Yeah,
that was the number one thing I was looking to in the show. Was like, I'm wondering, is Brock gonna start in the cage or not? And then we saw the intro, like, okay, that's it.
Yeah, I like the way when Brock was out there, and then how Roman came out and how they did their thing. I kind of like that.
Yeah. JJ mentioned this too. Well, you don't need to do war games just for war games' sake. You can have one man 1 year, the women's the next year. He mentioned that we don't have to have both because sometimes it's just randomized. So, like, if the story fits, then we can get the war game. We don't need war game just because it's November. You can go back to traditional Survivor Series, and then when groups are feuding and it gets to that point where it's heated, then you can say we're going to end up having war games, and it could be in the middle of another pay-per-view. Like, imagine a war games at a WrestleMania because 2 factions can't get along and there's 10 guys going. You don't necessarily have to force it to be in November. You can go back to traditional Survivor Series. It's like the Hell in a Cell. Like, I'm glad it's not a PLE anymore. And it used to be to finish off a rivalry. That was the last match, and then it was over. Then they started doing Hell in a Cell as a PLE, and it's like, oh shit, we gotta book a Hell in a Cell. We gotta book multiple because it's Hell in a Cell. Then they went to that red cage that was god awful. So, like, you don't have to do things just because you call it that. You can go back to Survivor Series and use war games when you have factions fighting and you really need to end a feud between 2 factions. That's what war games
don't
should
go
really
back
be.
to champion versus champion because then somebody's got to lose, and don't go back to Raw versus SmackDown. But go back to traditional, make the teams actually hate each other.
That's what I'm saying. Or you can at least do during Raw or SmackDown qualifying matches, and all the winners are now your Survivor Series team on Survivor Series. You can do something like that. You don't have to do war games just because it's November.
Yeah, good point. All right, anything else, Walter?
No,
Aaron?
I'm good.
Over to you.
Well, Gino's got his hand up.
Oh, Gino?
Yeah, I just want to say I think
do
WWE's
this. I'm never going to see your hand because I don't pay attention to that. So do this. Put your whole
Take off
palm
the
in
damn
front of the screen,
sunglasses.
and then I can see it.
I just want to say I feel like WWE is avoiding that traditional Survivor Series matchup type, and watching it on SmackDown kind of reemphasized this for me. Like so many people, they think they look strong by being like unpinnable, and when you have two all-star teams, five guys at least have to lose and take a pin or a fall, and I think that they don't like having to do that. Like, you know what I mean? The Roman, Punk, Jay, Cody, they would have all had to eat pins if they were doing that traditional match. So I think that's why they're avoiding it. But like, get creative with it. Like, it's almost like they don't want to be creative and they just want to take the easier ways out of it.
Yep. I think that's part because they do so many shows, and they like to fill time. Like, why do you think they had the John Cena tournament? We're gonna kind of talk about that on TV. Fill up TV time. So, all right, Aaron, now over to you.
Yeah, you guys all made some good points. Oh, wait, Dave?
Just one thing, I'm back on to piggyback Gino. I think they're scared, and I think that's why they don't like he said. But you don't have to have somebody get pinned. You could do DQs. You could do something funny or something fun to change it. But I think that's what they're afraid of. I think Triple H sometimes gets too afraid to go outside the box all of a sudden. That's all.
Right. And Dave, you got to move your camera down a little bit. You're like a floating head. There we go. Perfect. We got a super chat here from Oofman. Shout out to Oof. He says, this review will be more epic than Monday Night Raw. Well, that's for sure, because Raw, I don't know if it was exactly epic. Survivor Series was definitely not epic, but it was all right. I don't think it was a bad show. I do think people that were saying it was the worst WWE pay-per-view of the year, I mean, I really don't think there has been a bad WWE pay-per-view in the entire year. I think it was one of the weaker ones, but I still don't think it was a bad show. I did enjoy the Dominik and John Cena match. The War Games matches were okay, but nothing real special. And I'm intrigued about the Masked Man, although if it's Austin Theory, I feel like it's going to be a disappointment. What if it's Chris Jericho? I know there's been some speculation about that. What if they hold off on this? We did not get a reveal on Raw, so it could potentially be anybody. And I know people will say, well, that guy climbed up the cage really fast, so it rules out like 90% of the guys on the WWE roster. But I don't think that's such a big deal. I don't really care if it turns out to be Chris Jericho. I think Jericho would be a nice reveal, and he does have the history with CM Punk, so you could play into that. By the way, rest in peace, Larry. Sad to hear that, and maybe that's why Punk wasn't on Raw this week. But I would like it to be somebody other than Austin Theory for all the things I've said before about how Theory's better as a face at this point, and we need something a little more unpredictable, and we need that moment, like the guy being revealed at this point. The fact that they're holding it off, it's got to be impactful, and I think Theory. Somebody in the chat brought this up, that he really hasn't done enough lately for that reveal to be anything meaningful. Like, he's just kind of been there. If Theory was like a former world champion or, was being pushed strongly, it'd mean a little bit more. Walter, what do you want to add to that?
I just want to say that people that are gonna bitch, like if they use someone else and then they go back to Survivor Series and say, well, that person got up the cage quick, and just remember, movies use stunt doubles. So stop bitching before it happens.
But see, Walter, that's what I'm talking about. They fucking pick the show apart like they're the creative genius that knows everything about the business and how everything should go. And sometimes it's just sitting back and enjoying things and disliking things for not knowing why is how it is, more fun. I wish we can get back to more of that, but we don't have to say it was always the greatest, right? We can say a show was a C+. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. But we don't need to this isn't like Hollywood with these movie critics.
I mean, it's just the nature of the internet. People will pick every little thing apart. If people were mad about the Brock Lesnar fighting Roman Reigns on the outside because WWE had this rule that nobody could leave the cage, but that's once the match starts, and people just seem to completely forget
the match. The bell didn't ring yet. Yep.
Right. So, but nobody thought about that. They're just so preoccupied on having to be negative, and they find every little thing to pick apart. That they get upset about it. I mean, there were definitely issues with Survivor Series. It was far from a perfect show, but I would say anybody that thinks it was one of the worst Survivor Series of all time, I think there were many far worse Survivor Series pay-per-views over the years than that one. And that's all I got to say about that.
No gobbledygooker. All right, son.
Well, that was a good Survivor Series other than that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just said in my review, honestly, I'm not going to put it up there as the greatest all-time Survivor Series, but I don't think it was a bad show. I thought it was a solid, good show, and that's what I felt about Triple H most times when he was the head creative of NXT. Some shows are great, some shows are good, but rarely did we ever get a bad show, and I think Survivor Series fits that category for this year.
They're drawing the numbers, 45,000 people to that show. So they must be doing something right, and they're charging record prices too, and people are still buying tickets. So
and look,
they're doing it's working.
Triple H is like he's looking at this, and he's like, they're going to get Liv returning. We're going to tease him like she's against Dominik, but then she'll really screw Cena, and we're going to have this person under the hood do a curb stomp and really make the internet talk like, what's going on? That's what he was thinking. Those were going to be what everybody was going to talk about, and like I said, people are fixated on every match being a 5-star classic. And if things look a little rough sometimes and there's not, we don't want the 5-hour shows like AEW does sometimes, but some people were bitching all just 4 matches and not having the Survivor Series match. So, some of it makes sense to be upset about or to critique, but then sometimes it's like you're just reaching to complain.
No, that's the internet for you. And I love that John Cena match with Dominik. I thought
that's just a classic, and Dominik can use that for his heel character for years to come, right? So anyway.
Yeah.
Ready to move on?
Well, so we got the poll, the NoDQ.com year-end awards poll, and right now John Cena is winning by quite a distance, but Dominik has almost as many votes as Cody Rhodes at this exact moment. So Dominik has had a really great year, and I think Survivor Series elevated him and made him even more over than he was. And you look at him on Monday Night Raw, he just has so much confidence. And Dominik, I mean, this might be a bold thing to say, but when it's all said and done, he might have a better career than his father. If he can go 20 years at this high level, I mean, he could surpass his father as far as his level of superstardom. He could be a multi-time world champion. I mean, he really could be the face of the company. So yeah, Dominik, I mean, I'm really impressed with how far he's come. Son?
Yeah, just to piggyback off of what you're saying, total great respect for Rey Mysterio. But I think definitely his son, in terms of character work, has surpassed his father.
And just size,
That's going to be something moving forward. And I'm pretty sure Rey is proud. And it's like I've been saying with Dominik, he is no longer seen as Rey Mysterio's son. He is his own person, his own man, his own character, who just so happens to be the son of Rey Mysterio. I'm glad. I was saying back then, I was like, let's let the kid get some chance to cook. Let him find himself. And he found himself. He found his character, and look at him now. Dominik it's gonna happen. He's a babyface waiting to happen for sure. So I'm proud of him to see where he's
the day he hugs his dad and they do a reunion, it's gonna be a tearjerker, and everybody's gonna go nuts.
Maybe that's the perfect way to end Rey's career. Have him where he finally, his son hugs him, and that's the way Rey goes off in the sunset. That'd be a beautiful moment.
Yeah, again, and again, it's going to take 15, 20 years of great accomplishments. I'm not saying in the next couple of years. Rey Mysterio had a great career, but I think Dominik has that potential at his age and what he's already accomplished. He stays at that high level now, and he keeps getting better, and he goes for 20 years.
They're a perfect example. Dominik needs to have his 3-4-year run like Roman Reigns had with the Bloodline. Right? Something like that happens, and you immediately start putting someone in that conversation. So he's young enough to where there's plenty of time. But will they find the right thing to do with them?
Right. Yeah. And looking back at him in like 2020 and when he got started and how far he's come as a character, it's really been incredible.
Dude, the jail stuff and then the WrestleMania entrance, the prison inmate thing, that's what started the momentum with him.
Absolutely.
So, all
right,
right, ready to move on?
Let's do it.
So when the John Cena tournament, for his final match was announced, my number one pick, Gunther's coming back, and here he is in the final, and he's going against LA Knight. And LA Knight's just that guy that we're like, man, and this isn't a world title thing or anything like that, but it's a big deal. And he's always that LA Knight's that guy that always gets right there, but just can't do it. And here we are, the obvious Gunther, who at least for me, I figured he was going to be the one to face Cena. Right? Retired Goldberg, retired Cena. Now he can brag about that as a heel. What are we thinking here? It's going to be coming up here quick in a couple weeks. It'll be John Cena's last match, and it's going to be one of those guys. I don't know. I don't know. I want Gunther to continue that. Hey, I retired this guy, retired that guy. Like Orton was the legend killer. Look how it turned out for him. But part of me is like, LA Knight, man, give this guy something. Let this be his push. But I don't know. Maybe Cena wins his last match. He's lost quite a bit lately. So let's start with Dave on this one. We're getting real close to Cena's last match. What are we thinking?
Well, I'm like you, Virtue. I wish LA Knights had a chance for pushes here and there. I think they're going to stay with the safe bet of Gunther winning. The only thing I'm not sure about is, will they have Cena lose 2 matches in a row to end it? Or will they play this up as Gunther saying, I got Goldberg, I'm going to get Cena, and maybe he fails. But I think Gunther is going to be taking it. I'm very glad that they had Knight go over Jay yesterday, because there's no way I wanted to see another Uso and Gunther match. Yeah. And now with that, it's making Jay look like he may break at this point too. That might be a change in his character too, which I think might be needed. Even though he's over with the crowd, I think they played it a little bit before where he started losing and he was questioning himself. And I think they're going to play that out the way it ended yesterday for him after that match. It was a good match. The way that he looked like he had the win, and then they turned it on a roll up with LA Knight. I think the right call, because LA Knight and Gunther is going to be a good match. I mean, look what working with Gunther did for Solo yesterday. Yeah. So that was Solo's best match on the main roster. I mean, he was an animal in NXT too, and I think he may have gone against Gunther, who was Walter at the time. I don't remember, but that was definitely Solo's best match, and he brought it out in him. And
Gunther's a pretty good cat, isn't he? I remember hyping him up earlier in the year, and here he is with an opportunity to get to retire 2 legends. And yeah, Goldberg was a legend.
Mm-hmm. But Gunther definitely brings out people. Some people call him boring. Some people call him this and call him that. But you know what? Until yesterday, and really he used the cheating. He was the smarter heel, as Matthew put it in the chat yesterday, because having the heel against heel, and he just outsmarted Solo and Talatanga at the end of that match, because otherwise I don't think you ever see Gunther really cheat. I think maybe back in the days when he was with Ludwig a little bit, but I don't remember seeing him. He's a different kind of heel. He goes out there, beats his man down. And I think and they put a lot of faith in him too. I really think that and the Gunther and Cena match would be a good one. It'll be a classic.
Yeah, I mean that's like, if I like that, that's the one I would really expect, right? And I've been behind Gunther all year, so it would be nice. And Cena could go out losing all these matches. I mean, he went over at WrestleMania, right? Even though he was a heel, and you could say the heel run didn't work, he won the IC title from Dominik. I mean, he had his W's this year on his way out, so it wouldn't kill Cena if he puts whoever he faces over, and he has these losses towards the end. I mean, that's the business. The business is always laying down on your way out. You know, if it made sense in the storyline for Cena to beat somebody so that person could dwell off that loss going forward and make something of it, then it would be okay. So, all right, thanks, Dave. I'm going to go over to Gino now.
Thank you, Virtue. So we got Gunther or LA Knight. It feels like LA Knight's always been just like, if there's no more glass ceiling or brass ring, it feels like LA Knight's still saddled with having to deal with that type of stuff. There was that rumor that because he held up the sign, "We want LA Knight" instead of Jay, that he was, catching some heat backstage or whatever. And then he had a few things maybe not go his way, wasn't on some shows, and now he's in the finals. And last time is now tournament. And, Gunther's no, spring chicken either. I know LA Knight's older as well. We want these new, younger stars. And I was really hoping it would be somebody that could, like Dominik, who they could use this for years and years to come. As far as retiring Cena and retiring Goldberg, like, we know this is their last match. You're retiring them whether you win or lose. So it takes some of the gravitas out of a potential win and out of saying, "Oh, I retired them." Well, he was retiring anyway. It's like,
but didn't we know it was going to be Ric Flair's last match and most likely Shawn Michaels' last match? And I know, not counting Saudi Arabia, we kind of knew, right?
Sure.
No different.
And that GIF still gets played today with the "I'm sorry, I love you" super kick. And that was like friend retiring friend. Like, he didn't go on and say, "Oh, I retired Ric Flair," blah, 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 which I presume Gunther would do using that moving forward. But you are right. We have seen that before where we know this is somebody's last match. It just feels like Gunther's already reached that mountaintop. He's already, every time he comes out, he's been a champion for 80% of his career, 90% of his career, what have you. And it just feels like LA Knight could benefit more from it at this point. He's already had to face like two randomly picked opponents and all these things. And I really want to see LA Knight get his chance in the true main events, in the true title picture, not just being booked to lose, which some people say, okay, that's still a push, what have you. I could argue against that being a push, because if you're just being sent out to the slaughter, even in a good match or looking good in defeat, you're still not being taken seriously as a guy who can win the championship. He's great on the mic, but the problem is then we're not going to have the opportunity for whoever wins this match to have a microphone battle with Cena, because he's only got one more appearance, and that's going to be at the event where he's wrestling. And I think that there's a lot of missed opportunity throughout the entirety of the year, having Cena do microphone battles with people and really test people's mettle. Like, talking to the camera and cutting a decent promo, great. Building up the match while Cena's not here, cool, great. I understand the need to do it, but I really want to. I would love to see Gunther and Cena on the mic against each other. I want to see LA Knight versus Cena on the mic. That's what really got LA Knight over. It's certainly not his weird looking finisher. It's not maybe what he's doing in the ring. It's his ability to talk. And Gunther's same thing. He just doesn't do it in a flashy way. He just kind of spits facts and you believe him because he's just going to beat everybody. But I do feel like it should be LA Knight. It feels pretty obvious it's going to be Gunther. I'm really glad it's not Jay versus Gunther part 3 or whatever it is. But it just feels like the opportunity to build new top stars has been there, and they just keep falling back into the same old, same old.
We're getting some LA Knight love here, it looks like. All right. Well, thank you, Gino. Hey, Dave, is there like a home intruder there you're trying to get away of? Oh, or something? I'll make sure you're okay. Everything good? You're on mute. Anyway, fill me in later.
I'm okay. I'm just trying to get a charger for my phone.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. I'm going over to Son. I'm going over to Son now.
All right. So, yeah. or should I say, yeah. When you look at this, it can go either way. Definitely, I don't think age should be a matter here because they're only 5 years apart in age. Gunther's 38, LA Knight is 43. So obviously, if they're going to be around as long as someone who's up and coming in their early 20s, not sure about that and everything. But I hope they go on to have very long, lengthy careers. LA Knight already's had a long career, and hopefully he has even longer for WWE. But that being said, the biggest thing is you want to look at it from a perspective, obviously, what's the benefit in beating John Cena? How does this take someone to that next level? Gunther beating John Cena, obviously reestablish him in the main event scene and stuff like that. He can go on and say that, yes, indeed, he ended up defeating...
Hey, Dave, put your phone on mute if you're doing some shuffling around. I know you can hear me, so Son can talk without any distractions.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I don't want you guys to be able to hear this. So, yeah. But yeah, get back to what I was saying. When it comes to Gunther, he has been established as a main eventer. He's been established as a main eventer, and when he's been established like that, essentially him beating Goldberg, him beating Cena could be the fuel you need if you're going to put him in a program against Brock Lesnar. But the thing is, does he need it? Gunther's been established. If this was maybe 3 years ago when he was Intercontinental Champion, I said, yeah, he could use it, but he's already been there as a main event. So you go over to LA Knight, and LA Knight certainly needs something. They've had multiple opportunities to put that title on him, and they didn't. Well, him beating John Cena, that could be the career-defining moment he needs to take him and finally get that world title on and push him towards that main event scene. And Gino is so right. It is really sad that we're not going to get any promo battles, because I would have loved to see John Cena and Gunther on the mic, because, you know, obviously Cena would have destroyed Gunther and teared him down, and Gunther's just, he's really so great at the fact that he'll tell you straight up, yeah, I'm not going to be as entertaining as you, John. You go out here and you make all the people go ahead and laugh and everything, but understand this, that when you get in this ring on Saturday, I am going to destroy you. And he has such a way that he says his words and the way he looks, like, he'd be like, dang, okay, yeah, John Cena owned him on the mic entertaining wise, but there's something about Gunther that just, you can really tell, like, okay, he's letting Cena know he is nothing like anyone he's ever faced. LA Knight, obviously it speaks for itself. LA Knight on the mic, John Cena, that would have been straight fire. Yeah, there's been so many missed opportunities. I don't know why when Cena was there, they didn't do vignettes to film backstage. Like, if they knew him and AJ were going to wrestle, why didn't they sit him and AJ down for a promo segment, cinematic style? 1 week, Cena talks about what AJ means to him. AJ talks the next week, and then the third week, you have them go like, what this match is going to mean. And then boom, we would have got 3 weeks of content. So yeah, it's just a shame that, man, this is it. We're not going to have a John Cena final promo unless they do it at the beginning of the show. But overall, I would like LA Knight. For me as a fan, I would like this to be LA Knight's standout moment.
Yeah.
But if they have Gunther win, I see it fine. But yeah, Cena can win. That's another thing why I think they might do Gunther, because they've had him lose to some of the big stars already. Maybe they feel Gunther's the one that can take the loss. Cena goes out with a big win. But LA Knight is what I would like to see.
The love for LA Knight. Yeah, the promos would have been good, and if it was Gunther, I would have loved to have him tell Cena, I'm going to chop you so hard, it's going to make Bret Hart whine and cry about it, because Bret obviously said he doesn't like all these things. But, you know, it is what it is. So, but the love for LA Knight, wow, yeah. All right, Walter, over to you.
Yeah, Gunther's the obvious choice here, but, you know, I like a good swerve or two every now and then. I feel like they should swerve us and let it be LA Knight. Because if anything, I know what you just said, son. I feel like Gunther just came back. You don't want him losing that fast. I feel like LA Knight can take a loss to Cena, and then what you can do is have LA Knight snap, ruin Cena's returement.
Yeah, but
people
wait,
are expecting...
Walter, if LA Knight's the one to go to Cena to lose, Gunther's got to lose.
That's
right?
true. Yeah, you're right. But I mean, you can do a screwy finish either there.
Yeah,
but
you could.
Maybe the masked man screws Gunther. No, I'm kidding. But what you could do is LA Knight can move on and ruin Cena's retirement. You're expecting Cena to be on the ropes, get the standing ovation. Thank you, Cena, for 20 minutes, right? LA Knight loses. snaps, beat the hell out of Cena, leave him in the ring a mess. Like, leave him, and that's his retire. You just ruined his retirement. He doesn't get that moment. And then, when the camera's off, you can give him that moment, obviously, for Cena, but not for any of that. And do you understand the amount of momentum LA Knight will go get for doing that into WrestleMania season, into Rumble, into the Chamber? You would have so much momentum, and you can do all that. And then LA Knight can either go on to do well in the Rumble, possibly win the Chamber, and he can finally get one of those titles. You can give him a title match at WrestleMania if he's the one that do that. If he snaps and ruins Cena's entire retirement. The whole point of this was for Cena to do that. Everybody's expecting Cena to ride up in the sunset. Oh, great. I think Cena is the type of person that wouldn't mind putting someone over like that, even though he won. Can you imagine Cena like in a bloody mess, and that's the last image we ever see of Cena, just in a bloody mess in the ring, and it's because of LA Knight? And you would never forget LA Knight's name. He would always be synonymous for doing that to Cena. Like every time you mention Cena, you'll mention LA Knight. So I feel like you got a chance of finally doing something. You said it before we started talking about the subject. LA Knight just seems like he always gets there, and then when he's on the last rung, something pulls him back down the ladder. It's like they just don't trust him to do that. That's a hell of a way to do it. I mean, but the obvious choice would be Gunther, but I don't want Gunther to always be doing that, like the opposite of Legend Killer. He's like the retirement person. Every time you want to retire somebody, you go to Gunther, because then he's going to get that reputation instead of just being the badass heel that nobody can F with. He lost to Jey Uso. So if LA Knight surprises him with some crazy pin or something to move on, he can take it and it won't hurt him so much. So I just feel like that you got a hell of an opportunity if you let LA do that, and then he snaps. And at the same time, maybe it looks like Jey Uso might snap too. If you have LA Knight and Jey Uso both snap at the same time and kind of take over Raw and take over SmackDown, everybody's talking about the next generation taking over. And I know they're not spring chickens, like you said, they're older, but that everybody's complaining that the new generation isn't getting it. And then when they get it, you still got something to complain about, like the whole theory thing we said. So this is it. Everybody's getting up there. Cena got up there. People are starting to retire. People are on this last leg, so show us the next generation by doing that.
And I love the love for LA Knight and whatnot, but I'm still going to stick to my guns. I've been behind him since earlier in the year. Gunther is the guy I want to win this and beat Cena, but I want it to be a 51-49 Dave Meltzer 5-star classic, or Aaron Rift NoDQ Galaxy 5-star classic, where people talk about it forever. And I do want Gunther to go over. This is what I want to see. But, if it doesn't happen, it's all right. But, Aaron, I'm going to go over to you now. We can finally get out of here maybe when you're done talking. So go ahead, but take your time.
You can't see anything.
What?
The sunglasses, you can't see anything going on here. You don't even know who super chatted a few minutes ago either. We're not going under an hour tonight. Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, but I don't see the chats come up here the way I have my screen until you post them. So that's why I don't see those.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, the whole thing, I've always ignored hands, though. Like, I've done that for a while. It's just kind of my thing. But anyway.
Right. Well, Dave showed his hand. Dave, what do you want to say?
The only thing I wish they would have done differently, and maybe got Cena a couple more appearances, I really wish they would have had the finals and set it up for Survivor Series and have that as the 5th match. That way you'd have 2 weeks of promos, because that's the one thing I think we're going to miss, because Cena is such a great promo, and to get a couple more out of him, whether it be Gunther or whether it be LA Knight, because LA Knight's a heck of a talker too. I mean, that's what I'm kind of afraid that we're going to miss here. But it has been a decent half of the last half of this run has been pretty darn good. But that's the only thing I wanted to say, is I think we're missing out on the promos maybe with Cena for these last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Well,
I hear you.
Thank you, Dave. And with all the stuff that was going on in Dave's video with the ceiling and stuff, he can put his hand in front of the screen. I just figured he's trying to hook up his charger. All right.
No, I'm okay now. Hey, at least my stream.
Damn it. All right.
At least my stream works.
Dave, we know this is not your day job, because rule number one for podcasting or doing video streams or whatever, you got to have your device charged at all times, because that will drain your battery faster than just about anything if you don't have something plugged in.
Aaron, I never thought I'd have to go to my phone for this, but at least my phone's not glitching on me like my computer was.
Yeah.
Your phone is the way to go for the future. We just got to get you on the right mode. I think you're on you got to flip your phone or whatever, because you got the black bars on the side.
You need a holder for it so you can sit and relax and not have to do this.
Yeah, chill.
Hey, I'm sitting back in my recliner. I'm more comfortable than leaning against the computer.
I'm dreading going back over to Aaron after what he had said earlier, so I'm going to go now and just go.
Well, so City by the Bay, we're going to get to the super chats in just a few minutes since they're different topics. So stay tuned for that. But just to sum all this up and give my thoughts on it, City by the Bay brought up an interesting idea. What if we had a double turn with Gunther and LA Knight, and LA Knight officially went heel? And like Walter said, give us a swerve and have LA Knight win. Here's why I would argue for LA Knight. Not that I want to see LA Knight get that spot necessarily, although I am a fan. I wonder if WWE booked themselves into a corner with John Cena versus Gunther, because I don't think Gunther should be losing to Cena at all. Like, if Gunther is in that match with Cena, really, Gunther should be winning and continuing his domination. However, this is also John Cena's last match, and Virtue, this goes back to earlier. We said the fans like to complain about everything. How do you make the majority happy here? Because if Gunther wins, people are going to be like, oh, they ruined Cena. This was a terrible retirement run. Sting got to win in his retirement match. But then if Cena wins, people will be like, well, you ruined Gunther. He has no credibility anymore. So I feel like there's a no-win situation for WWE with this Gunther and John Cena scenario. But if LA Knight turned heel, Gunther's already getting cheered. Look at Raw with Solo Sikoa. Gunther was getting cheered. And if they're going to do Gunther versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania or whenever, I would think Gunther would be the babyface. I think Gunther's going to turn at some point. I just don't know when. But LA Knight needs something. He just can't keep doing the and being, Rock 2.0 or whatever. He needs that heel turn. If they did a double turn and had LA Knight screw over Gunther, that allows Gunther to save face. That can turn Gunther face, and he doesn't look weak. And then LA Knight could put over John Cena in the last match. Gunther will be a baby face, and then LA Knight can face Cena. Cena can beat LA Knight, and LA Knight still gets a big match as a heel, and he'll be fine because he can talk his way out of it, and he can go on to the next opponent. So I say there's an argument for LA Knight to be winning. I don't think it's going to happen. My gut feeling is this was designed for Gunther to win and face Cena. And if I had to make a prediction right now, I would say Gunther wins the final match with John Cena. But I'd love a swerve if it made sense. And I'm very intrigued as to how WWE is going to book this so the majority of fans are satisfied, because I really do feel no matter what they do, half the audience is going to be pissed off. Half will be mad that Gunther's getting buried, or half will be mad that they think John Cena is getting buried. So we'll see what they do. I'm curious to see if they just play it straight or if they try to think outside the box and give us something different. But let's get to the super chats now. Psycho Jet Black is here. Why I said we're going over an hour. Psycho said, imagine Dave's phone being drained by John Cena. Oh no, don't tell me we're getting 20 of these. You laugh all you want, Dave. We're going another 30 minutes, so I hope you're comfortable in that recliner.
Well, I saw that coming too.
Yeah, as did we all. He's already getting 10 of those types of super chats ready to go. But we got a couple of side topics here. So Psycho Jet Black sent in a legit super chat, sent in $5.
Yeah,
he said,
sorry you're even here.
Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm late. If the masked man is Austin Theory, why drag out the mystery unless the swerve is that he doesn't work for the Vision, but for Seth Rollins? I agree. Like if Austin Theory is the guy, it doesn't make sense to drag this out. You're just going to set yourself up for more disappointment if it turns out to be Austin Theory. If it was going to be Theory, he should have just been revealed on Raw and move on. But the whole idea of just having a masked guy and it be Austin Theory, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. What do you guys think? You guys agree? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Son, what do you think?
Yeah, if it is Austin Theory, then I thought, they could have just pulled it right there at the winning shot, have Austin Theory and dressed in all black reveal, take the head mask off, and I think it would have made perfect sense to do that there. But now if you're going to be dragging it out, maybe all through December and January, maybe the Rumble, if they could drag it that far out, then you definitely are bidding way too much anticipation and stuff.
Also,
just say, okay, it's Theory.
Why does Austin Theory need to be masked? They better have a good reason for
Right.
that. Because War Games is not DQ or anything. Anybody could theoretically jump in and interfere. So there has to be a good reason why he was masked. If it's masked,
Just like because just like why did Becky have to be masked when she got involved?
Yeah, it was
Prior.
dumb. It's going to be lame if it's Austin Theory. I'm just saying that now.
Yeah.
It makes me think that they're not even sure what they want to do, which is why they kind of gave themselves an out by doing it the mask. They can do whatever they want later, like
And
I
they
said
could fool the
earlier.
dirt
movies
sheets
you
because
spend up-
they, dirt sheets could find out from the moles, Heyman, that it was Austin Theory, and then Triple H was like, nope, that it's going to end up being, they could.
All right, we got a super chat here from Caleb Jacobs. Thank you for your patience, Caleb. Caleb says, can we talk about TNA going to AMC in January? So that was a big story today. TNA back on cable television in January on AMC. That's great for TNA. I might actually have to start watching Impact again. I haven't really watched a full episode of Impact in at least a decade at this point. Really, not too long after they got kicked off of Spike TV. I watched like a year of the Destination America, and then I was kind of like, I'm done with this.
Because Hulk Hogan left that bad taste in your mouth when it was Bishop and Hogan doing TNA. I want to know the details. Are they gonna like TNA Plus gets the pay-per-views and the specials, and then AMD gets just Impact? Like I didn't actually look it up, but AMC is a good channel that reaches a lot of people. They're known for the first 48. Like Breaking Bad was on there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Saw it over to you. I saw your hand.
Yeah. So I think that's really cool. AMC and TNA. I love that this company is a survivor. They are surviving, and if they can get back to the point where now they become like legit competition for both AEW and WWE, that's cool. It'd be great to have three banging companies that are both mainstream. So I think it's fantastic. It only further helps the wrestling business. And also shout out to my boy SMP 2390 in the chat says, I am sick of the mass hoodie thing this year. And that brings me over to you, Aaron. I think we were all there at SummerSlam when they first started doing that with Jimmy Uso. And ever since that match, every interference is somebody revealing themselves in a black hooded figure.
I don't mind if you take off the mask immediately after you just did it, but like to drag it out, because then you leave yourself with too much disappointment.
Yeah, Gino, anything you wanted to add? I know you had your hand up at one point.
Yeah, just I'm happy for TNA to be on, some sort of cable. I don't think it's basic cable, so you're going to have some sort of special package, and AMC has its own streaming service. So if you wanted to stream that, you have to get a different streaming service than the other, big six or whatever. So that might cause some viewership issues, but having them on an easier to access network, I think is going to be great. But my problem then becomes is if we get so much wrestling content, it's going to be hard for us as viewers to feel like anything's new, anything's fresh. We're complaining about the stuff that's overdone and overdone and overdone. Well, when you have 12 hours of live wrestling or tape wrestling to view a week, some things are going to repeat themselves.
Cut out AEW.
You might be on something
AEW.
there.
Problem solved.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what TNA's viewership is on AMC if they can come close to Dynamite. Imagine the internet if they somehow outdrew Dynamite.
Meltzer would have a complete meltdown. Oh my God!
But it doesn't include Max.
Dave, stop raising your hands. You're just making this linger. What's up, Dave?
I'm sorry for it, Joe. But no, wasn't the rumor that they were going to also be on Wednesday nights against Dynamite?
They probably considered it, but I think Thursday is the best night for them at this point.
Yeah, maybe not to go against them right away, but I mean, TNA's got some good wrestlers too. I mean, I haven't watched TNA much since back in the day when Styles was still there. So when TNA was before Hulk Hogan and them got there, when it was Samoa Joe was still young, and so was Styles, and that was a good group of young wrestlers back then too.
All right, we got a couple more. Well, more than a couple.
Rapid fire.
All right. Well, Psycho Jet Black has one more legitimate super chat. So thank you, Psycho Jet Black, for the legitimate super chat. Says, who does Jacob Fatu fight at WrestleMania 43? He doesn't see Cody Rhodes being the attacker and turning heel before WrestleMania. Also, what are his chances to return or win the Royal Rumble? Don't think he's winning the Rumble. Probably not. And I would say Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre seems like the most likely candidate. I can't think of who else Drew might be facing at this point. Anybody have a different opinion on Jacob Fatu, who he could fight at WrestleMania? I mean, McIntyre makes sense to me.
I'll worry about that closer.
Yeah,
I agree.
He could be coming back soon, but it's probably going to be solo, honestly.
No, they're done with that. I think they're moving on. I really hope so. I'd be disappointed if he's fighting solo again. Yeah, please, no more MFTs versus Jacob.
No, didn't they tease something with Solo this past week where he looked at both of them on the truck and stuff? So I think they may have teased something actually.
I don't recall that, and I really hope there's no.
This is your chance to
maybe I just saw a different video online of it then.
This is your chance to make somebody from NXT big if he somehow attacked, but then it wouldn't make sense. Like, how did he get from NXT to SmackDown to do that attack first?
Hey, Oba Finby versus Jacob Fatu. Like, man, they got some good stars coming up. Bron Breakker, Oba, and
any NXT person could be the masked
Bron.
wrestler. No, the masked guy and anybody from NXT.
Ethan Page, maybe.
Yeah, theoretically, yeah.
Throw it
All right,
Say his name.
Well, he's coming soon, but we got one here from Tito. Shout out to Mr. Tito. Tito says, bigger topic, what happens to AEW when Warner Brothers Discovery sells?
Well, it depends on who they sell it to.
I was
Hope
it's
that they're
Netflix, they're going to
and a new
Netflix.
company that's going to own TBS and TNT. So have one wrestling mark executive, and you probably will get another TV deal. Because, I mean, let's face it, these wrestling TV deals and streaming deals, even for WWE, they are absurd. Just absolutely absurd that the money they give to these companies. Now, yeah, they don't have to, it's content for them. They don't have to pay for production. You know, the companies do their own production, but just absurd money. And it's because these companies have wrestling marks that are probably read Meltzer and all this. And that's probably why they strike these deals. And Nick Khan sniffs them out. So.
Yeah, and I think WBD is planning on splitting the streaming side with the TV side. So depending on who buys it, they might only be buying the streaming aspect and the movie division, but not the TNT, CNN, all the television networks that they have. So
it'll be interesting, though. I mean, it'll be interesting for AEW at least.
Yeah, I think they'll be all right, but it really does depend on who ends up buying Warner Brothers Discovery. But we'll see. We got quite a few here from Psycho Jet Black, so let's get to it. Everybody's favorite part of the evening, especially Virtue. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. He says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by Kane. Better to have your phone drained by Kane than have your balls electrocuted by Kane. Am I right? Yes.
Sure.
Correct. All right. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Psycho says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by Ricochet.
Imagine that.
Just had
Your
to.
phone would still be more over than Ricochet.
You know, if it really wasn't for this dude, we probably would have canceled the review a long time ago. I mean, he really is. I'm just being honest, or we would have turned it into something else. But anyway.
All right. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Psycho. Says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by Javon Evans.
The boy is bouncy.
I just want to know what he does for a living, because
I apologize, guys. This one's my fault.
Thank you, Dave. Your phone was drained, and that gave Psycho a lot of material.
He's probably Saudi Arabian.
So he's up at like 2 a.m. doing all this.
Loaded. It's probably like just loaded from
owns
rich family.
He owns oil.
I mean, it is only $2 a crack. It's not like he's doing $100. Ban Virtue next week. That I'd be more impressed if he did that. But
all right. Well, he could just put it all in one lump sum and get you banned for a month.
I mean, we're coming into that lull period, so I don't even think that'd be that big of a punishment for
but we
Virtue
got
at
the
that point.
rotation though. Like I could take next week off and just be in the chat. So like we got a good thing. We got at least to coast into next year, and then we'll flip things upside down.
Whoa, Stranger
Next.
Things reference.
All right. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by Chris Jericho.
Next.
At least he would have a 10-second countdown to be warned.
That's right.
Oh,
See, this is basically improv. Psycho Jet Black is throwing these topics, and somebody has to come up with a funny line, and none of us are improv experts. So you're in for some cringy responses here if anybody can come up with anything. But I thought that was a good one, son, all things considered. All right. We got one here from Psycho Jet Black. Who else? Says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by Don Callis.
Then he'll be
Oh
screwed.
God.
Good God.
He'd really be screwed then. All right, we got one.
Aaron, I think you and I were the only ones that got that.
That's all good. I mean, if one person finds it funny, I consider it a success. All right, Psycho Jet Black says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by X-Pac.
His phone will blow up from that kind of heat.
I'm sorry. This is starting to make me feel crazy.
All right, Walter,
All right.
you've got some good ones tonight. I admire your ability to think fast on these. Maybe you've been studying for the past 10 minutes since he sent them in.
No, I don't look at him.
You know why he does this? You know why he does this? Because he knows how annoyed I am by looking at the misspelling of psycho. So anytime he does it, it pops up and I have to see
Right.
at Pico Jet Black. I think that's why he does this.
I think
But I'm
it
pretty
is.
sure you can edit it
doesn't matter
too.
what it says. He's just pissing me off by showing me his incorrect spelling of his name.
Oh, jeez.
That's what it is.
So let me read this one. Imagine Dave's phone being drained by Liv Morgan.
We
I
should
wouldn't
be so
mind being
lucky.
Never mind, my
Well.
wife is watching.
You wish
Oh,
you had
boy.
been drained by Liv Morgan.
Yeah, my girlfriend's not watching, so I guess I'm safe right now.
Yeah, but Walter's wife is always lurking, so be careful. Hide your wife.
And she has hit me in the back of the head in the middle of streams too.
What the hell is this?
All right, let's get to it.
I thought we were almost caught up. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. Says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by Jay Uso.
No yeet.
No yeet.
Virtue, I hope this doesn't hurt me coming back on with
I'm
you.
imagining like John Lennon. I'm imagining.
Imagine
Virtue,
Dave's
don't.
Imagine Dave's phone being drained by Dixie Carter.
Oh God.
That was
Well, you know
Imagine
what?
that.
If your phone
Like
is
her parents'
anything
money
like
was
TNA,
drained by.
it would survive. You know, your phone would be
True.
for eternity. All right, we got one here from Psycho Jet Black. Says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by Travis Scott.
Oh God.
That would
No.
drain anything. Yeah,
That
that
would
would
be the end
drain.
of your phone. Your phone would never work
You
again.
can even have it
No, it
charged-
wouldn't.
plugged into the charger and it still would drain it.
It would take 10 minutes to get to your phone from the entrance ramp, so
Imagine Dave's phone being drained by Ghostface.
Oh
Do you even know who Ghostface is?
no.
You don't
the
want to know.
stream killer.
I just picture the scary movie version going like, "Ah."
All right, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by Matt Cardona.
He'll be
Woo,
too
woo,
busy
woo, you
playing
know
with
it.
his action figures.
Imagine Aaron Riff's hair being drained by Zack Ryder
Oh, no.
and beard.
Aaron's about to super chat to get you banned.
Good. I should take all the Psycho Jet Black money and throw it back into super chatting.
Embezzling.
All right.
Cooking the books.
All right, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by Tonga Loa. Which one is he?
He's the boss.
He's the one he's the forgotten one.
Not the yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So nobody would care, basically, if his phone got
Correct. Correct.
Would we even notice?
All right. Well, we would notice this. Psycho Jet Black says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by Omos.
Oh, man.
6 months later because he only shows up once every like 8 months.
Okay, there you go. So you only have to worry about it like once every 6 to 8 months if it's Omos. All right.
Virtue, I hope this doesn't hurt me ever coming back on when you moderate because.
But if you weren't on, he would have did it. He would have found something else, gimmick, and he would have did it anyway. I was hoping this would have been the week. The week he's not on is the week I'm in the chat, not on the video.
That's
like
very
the week he
interesting.
misses.
Very interesting coincidence.
It's me. It's me. I don't have a phone.
Well, the Wizard of Oz.
Why would I give any money to you?
I mean, that's the realest point he's made
you
on
do
that.
get enough for yourself. You don't need that. Like from me.
Yeah, but you're very wealthy. You live in a nice condo. You can afford it.
It's a small condo. I'm frugal, man.
Okay.
I drive a Mitsubishi.
All right, fair enough.
Whoa, flex on us.
Let's get to this one. Imagine Dave's phone being drained by Tony Khan.
He's too busy draining his money on cocaine.
He'd probably say he's draining it better.
If his phone was TV ratings, then that would make sense.
That would make a lot of sense.
Tony Khan and Ariel Helwani made up. Ariel Helwani made a snowman comment, and then they buried the hatchet, and Tony went on his show. So.
Well, I mean, long story short, Helwani he's a mark, so he wants them all on his show. He wants to be friends with everybody.
Yeah, Logan Paul called him a
was
D1
on
laser.
A week later, yeah.
The Russo one was very entertaining. I will say that. All right, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super.
Oh, that's for Sun.
Imagine Dave's phone being drained by Vegeta.
Oh,
Vegeta. Draining. I mean, he will destroy it. Gone. Final flash. Yeah, he would destroy it. He doesn't drain. He destroys.
All right, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. It says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by Kevin Nash.
He would tear his quad trying to get to his phone.
That's a great idea, Walter. This is like word association. Big Kevin Nash, big torn quad.
Oh, jeez.
That's Kevin Nash's legacy. Oh, wait a minute. What the hell? Jeremy Dorset? What? You're not
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That's not right. You can't do that. That's gimmick infringement.
He's influencing.
Well, thank you, Jeremy. Jeremy says, imagine your phone being drained by The Undertaker.
Or he shoots lightning out of his hands, so he might charge your phone instead of drain it.
Yeah, I think you should charge him $5 a super chat instead of $2 at this point.
You really earned that one.
Walter, you're on fire tonight. Psycho Jet Black is back, says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by Mr. Tito.
Conveniently, also somebody who wears a mask.
Yeah, and never reveals himself.
Maybe it was Tito on Survivor Series.
Maybe it was. All right, we got one here from Psycho Jet Black. Says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by Coco Beware.
He's going back the wrong way.
Introduces each one like it's new, and Psycho Jet Black.
He's living the gimmick, brother.
He drains his by playing Angry Birds all day.
All right, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. He says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by Brad Maddox.
Oh gosh, I don't like to remember him.
He would have to use Dave's phone to film some content.
He would need a tripod.
Yeah, that's getting a little out there.
Or he'll low blow Ryback.
That's a page out of someone else's book.
This is bizarre.
No one got that page reference. Come on.
We're all getting it without saying it.
Yeah, we are.
See what I mean by bizarre right here?
Imagine Dave's phone being trained by Chris Benoit.
That'd be quite
Oh my
spooky.
God, that's getting that's going
Smartphones
far.
weren't even a thing.
I don't
I
call
don't
it
even
cycle
wanna-
for
No
nothing.
comment on that.
I don't even
All
want
right,
to
next.
comment on what he would do with that cord, but we'll move on. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, imagine Dave's phone being trained by Aaron Paul. who
Oh,
is
he missed the opportunity to put the B word at the end of it. Come
Aaron
on,
Paul, bitch.
bitch. Science.
I appreciate the Breaking Bad reference, though, so thank you, Psycho Jet Black, on that. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. He says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by Enzo Amore.
Can't
That wouldn't be
teach
soft.
that.
Name dropping wrestlers. Like that's his gimmick. He's just randomly thinking wrestlers, trying to pop us on who the wrestler is.
How many
I
love
super
Enzo.
chats are we up to, Aaron, by him?
I don't know.
I don't know.
7
Why
left.
is he
That's how
ever
many we're
in any
down
of
to.
my streams? I could
You know what it
use this
is?
money.
And halfway through some of these shows, and I don't see many super chats, I start feeling bad. Like, wow, we had a dud crowd tonight. You know, feel bad for Aaron. And then this happens.
Well, here you go, Virtue. Here's you. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2 and says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by Dave Meltzer.
He'd give it 6 stars.
Yeah, I mean, it's
And then he'll go on his podcast and
he
be wrong
tends to
about it.
drain anything he likes and puts over. Absolutely.
Walter, we got spread. Tell Psycho to give you some super chats when you
Remember,
guys
this
are all
is a
doing your
guy-
streams.
This Dave Meltzer has never gave Kurt Angle a 5-star match. I mean, that's really all you need to. If somebody's like, why should I not read Dave Meltzer? Just tell somebody that. That's all you need to do.
AEW would tell him to drain your phone 2 weeks before anybody else knows.
Tony Khan would call him while
Michaels and
he's
Kurt
draining
Angle,
phones.
according to Dave Meltzer, not a 5-star match.
Well, here's the thing. If Dave's phone got drained by Dave Meltzer, then Meltzer would say that was always the plan for his phone to be drained.
Or plans change, yeah.
Plans changed. He wasn't going to drain the phone, but then he decided to drain the phone.
That was a
30
swerve.
minutes later.
Imagine Dave's phone being trained by Mantar, who's the wrestler with the bullhead from the mid '90s.
I remember him.
I'm more of a fan of El Torito.
Yeah, me too.
Up.
All right, we got a couple more. Well, yeah. Psycho Jet
Imagine Virtue turning his phone off and making Gino close the show. Or Aaron.
happened. Psycho Jet Black sent in
Good.
$2. He says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by Vince Russo. Swerve.
Sounds
he's
like a Russo.
giving your phone juice instead of draining it. You think it's being drained, but it's not being drained. So maybe Vince Russo would actually help you.
Hey, he hasn't even really written many of those internet shows for the Juggalos yet. I mean, a couple of them. They went from 20,000 views to 40. He's doubling them up. I mean, that's the internet, though. That's internet views. We take that on this show, though. 40,000 views.
Imagine Dave's phone being drained by Ryback.
He would ask us to feed him more phones.
He would need more phones.
He would talk about it 10 years later still.
All right. We got one more here from Psycho Jet Black. He says, imagine Dave's phone being drained by Joseph Stalin.
Oh God,
I'm not,
Aaron, I want the total of these super chats in the chat when you're done. If you can figure it out.
I mean, don't tell
Walter
me.
just got a sandwich. He's in for the long haul right now. I saw that. We're all
Joseph
hungry. All
Stalin. I mean, now he's like, oh, now he's going.
right, 5 more. Let's go.
All right. Mr. Tito said, need my super chat, Aaron. So thank you, Tito, for reminding me. And I wanted to wait until Psychos were all red so I could put this one up. Tito says, imagine my balls being drained by Psycho Jet Black's mom.
There you go. That's a good one. I'll even give Tito props for that one. Very, very well done.
Well done, Tito. We appreciate that. Oh, no. Jeremy Dorset sent in $5. Imagine your phone being trained by the Dynamite Kid.
That would be an explosive
Very
situation.
interesting on some of these names. Like, just they're coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, out of the old woodwork from when I was young.
All right, we got one more here from the Lonely Soldier. who is this guy experienced with a different username, says John Cena needs to retire as the Doctor of Thugonomics or mix both teams. What do you guys think about that? Do you want the Doctor at the retirement match? Yes or no?
No.
I say no.
I then
No.
go with the classic Cena. Though that was my favorite version of Cena. Honestly, I wanted to hear that theme song he made back in 2012. We never got to hear that.
When he
It's
went
not
heel,
the-
I would have loved him to have a completely different theme, but
No, he wasn't fixing to give people what they wanted when he was a heel. He was doing ultimate heel work by not making anybody happy with it.
Yep.
Top level.
Are we getting some reverb, or am I hearing things?
Somebody's watching their television.
Or somebody's like humming.
Dave, mute your phone. I'm going to you first. Just mute it for a second. Now start talking, anybody.
Hello.
Busted!
Goodbye.
Busted!
Avita said
It's all right,
goodbye.
Dave. You'll get it right. You'll figure it out. Growing pains. All right, Aaron, what else we got?
We're caught up, so we can get to our plugs.
All right, Dave, put your phone on, get your plugs, and put it back on mute. Go.
I don't know where the humming's coming from unless it's my bird eating behind me. But
Talking bird?
There's a
Yeah, I
wall
got it.
behind you.
yeah, but I mean the bird's to the left of me. He's sitting to the left in
Yeah, I
his
don't
cage.
hear it now, but I heard it for a little bit there. Yeah, but go ahead, do your last words.
I just want to say yes to NoDQ. Buy shirts from Aaron, and I appreciate you guys having me on again. I'll get this right one of these days because old dogs learn new tricks sooner or later. But I appreciate Virtue you having me on. It was a good pleasure to see Gino again and Aaron and you, Virtue, and get to meet Son and Walter finally. It's been a pleasure, and thank you again.
You created the Psycho Jet Black gimmick this week, so I mean, Aaron's very happy. So thanks for being on. All right, over to you, Son.
Alrighty, so get the graphic there. So yeah, right before this live stream on my wrestling channel, I reviewed WWE Survivor Series for my full thoughts, and I'm going to be having a match ranking coming soon. And I will also be doing a live stream where I review the last match of John Cena and talk about his whole final year here and look back on a retrospective of John Cena's entire career. And then on my main channel at Sun Goshoku, I'm currently playing the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero story campaign. So go ahead and check out all my Dragon Ball content there. You can follow me on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok and everything, and I'll comment below. You can click on that. As always, gentlemen, it is a great pleasure to be here on NoDQ talking WWE and AEW when we can and stuff like that, wrestling, and like I said, it's been great to be able to come here and meet all 4 big PLE shows and everything afterwards. So I don't know, next time I'll have a Tuesday off to come back in. So at the very least, probably Royal Rumble. And definitely looking forward to John Cena's final time, basically, as we conclude this and everything. So what a heck of a run it's been. And hey, I'm a Stone Cold Steve Austin guy. I'm not even the biggest John Cena fan, but I believe you give respect where respect is due. And that being said, keep supporting NoDQ.com. Say yes to it. Awesome to be in talk with you guys as always.
Thanks for being on. All right, Walter, go.
you can find me on Instagram at walter.cruz.940, the Twitter at Walter, or X, whatever the hell you call it, at Walter Alex Cruz, and of course the bread and butter of what I do at Rage of Wrestling. Tune in for all the watch-alongs, including UFC, WWE, AEW. We do it all. The gaming is coming back. I just got Ninja Gaiden. There's a graphic. Rage of Wrestling. The gaming is coming back. I just got Ninja Gaiden 4 for the PS5, so I'm going to start doing that live and on Twitch and on the channel, so we can try to beat the game together and stream it. So I think I'll start this Thursday. So that's it for me, and thanks for having me up here.
Thank you, Walter. Gino. Now, Gino, Colin is moderating next week, but in the event that he can't, you're next. So
Sounds good. I'm always ready to go. Guys, check me out on my YouTube channel. Tomorrow, Noah and I are going to be breaking down the NoDQ Predictions League from the Survivor Series and the AEW event because we missed last week due to the holiday. Speaking of the holidays, guys, I hope everybody has a safe holiday season. We'll see you guys next week. And in honor of Larry, remember to hug your pets. Their lives are a lot shorter than ours.
thank you.
My pet's out there busy chasing roosters.
Nice. All right, Aaron.
Well, thank you guys for enduring us for the past 90 minutes and Psycho Jet Black. Much love to Psycho Jet Black for all the entertainment. We hope you guys enjoyed. And just stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the latest. Vote in the NoDQ.com year-end awards ongoing right now throughout the month of December. And that's all I got. Virtue, go ahead and sign us off.
X.com at NoDQ_Virtue if you dare. NoDQ.com/merch for all the merch. And Aaron, you have the QR code? Well, no.
Yeah, it's right up there, upper right-hand corner.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I just don't see it. There you go, everybody. That's it. For Dave, for Gino, for Walter, for Son, for Aaron, Colin, the whole NoDQ crew in Galaxy. Good night, everybody. See you next time.